Now what I'm going to do now in this video is do a quick review on the Crusader Mark 1, and I'm going to show all the bits that go with it, and I'm going to show the bits that I add on as well, and also I'm going to show how I use the Trangia spirit burner with it, although you probably would have worked that out by now from the photos. And then I'm going to just have a little explain of what I think at the end of the video, and there's something a little special about this cooker, and I'll say that I'll tell you that towards the end of the video. So yeah, so it's just behind me, just on the floor, so let's go and have a look. And this is it, the Crusader Mark 1, BCB and all the bits. So let's start off with the cooker. Okay, the cooker looks like this. It's got that little grid going across there. You put your cap on. Also, it's got a little cap on the inside, little sort of dish there. You can put your methylated spirit straight in there, or your burning block straight in there, or you could put a Trangia spirit burner in there, but this lid doesn't go over, okay? So I'll show that later, how I get over that, so you might have guessed it from the photos anyway. And also, it's got little holes on the edge. I put them in, okay? And that's all that is to pin it down on a hill or on soft ground. And I suppose it can let air in as well while it's burning like. So anyway, that's the cooker. It's made of stainless steel, and it's solid, and it'll last forever. Okay, so that's the cooker. Next up is the pot, or mug if you like as well. You can use it as a mug. It's got nice big handles, so if you've got gloves on, you can use it with gloves as well. It's stainless steel, absolutely solid, and fits on the bottom of the water bottle like that. Okay, you'll see that later on. And on the edge you've got a bit of some markings, a little bit of markings. It's got 1/4 of a litre, 1/2 litre, and it's got BCB International Limited, and it's got 1998 on it with the NSN number stamped in as well. Okay, NATO service number, I think that is. So that's the mug. Okay, brilliant, lasts forever and absolutely solid. Now next up is the British Army Osprey water bottle. This is my old one. It's got the Osprey 2007 stock number and a little crow's foot there, show us British Army issue, and the warning sign, okay, for heat, keeping the plastic away from heat. It's a nice colour, it's 1 litre. The reason I say it's a nice colour is because it's black. In freezing conditions, if you've got a little bit of ice on the threads there and you can't get the top off, you can leave it in the sun and the sun will attract the heat, okay, and help sort of undo it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into lots of things like that. Right, next up is the cup. Fits on the top there, and it's got handles like that. It's made of plastic, very hard plastic. It'll last for ages, okay, for years and years. And the little writing on the edge there, same again, Osprey 08, that's 2008. The cat number, or NATO number, I think, and then it's got a little crow's foot to show it's British Army issue, and the heat warning sign. All right, so that's the cup. And the pouch up next. The pouch is very robust like the rest of it. This particular one is a utility post DPM by Webtex. You can see that. And you've got your plastic sort of quick release buckles there. Got this little bit of Velcro that's covered up there. And on the back, I've actually cut a couple of straps off there, okay, with the poppers that fastened on with poppers, because I don't need them really. I left these ones on because it gives me a chance to put it on a belt if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. So what I've done is I cut these off because they sort of stuck out a bit. I'd rather this be inside my rucksack personally, and I cut them bits off there because it had some metal bits sticking out and in the way and all that. So when I cut them, after I cut them off, I melted the ends with a lighter as well, so it doesn't fray. But so that's the back end. I could put it on a belt if I wanted to, but it's going to be in the rucksack most of the time. And it's nice and robust, and it's the original one I had from years ago with this lot as well. So that's what you get. Now I can't remember if I bought this all together or separate. I can't remember now. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell really. That's the Crusader Mark 1 BCB. And that's me little bits that go in with it inside the pouch as well. First off is a ferro rod of that sort of thickness, either 10mm or 12mm, I don't know really. So yeah, so I got a ferro rod. You can get a longer one as well, that's just a short one. You got the old big long ones that's got a hard composite, so you'll fit one of them as well, one or the other. So yeah, so there's a ferro rod. I got my spork, nice metal spork, none of this plastic crap, it's got to be metal. All right, so there you go. I got a lid for the cup, or the pot if you like. Now it's very difficult to get this type of lid, okay. It's got a big old handle there, 3 fingers. Get 3 fingers in, and it's absolutely solid. It's made of stainless steel, and it did have a little rim going around the edge, but I sawed it off. I got a hacksaw, sawed it off like that, and it was only spot welded on, okay. So I just bent it over and took it off and then smoothed it down. So there you go. And I did that because it's ease of packing, nice and slim like that. And also I didn't need it really, you know. This is absolutely solid. To actually bend that, I'd have to put it on a curb and stamp on it or something. It's absolutely solid. So it's made of stainless steel, and yeah, so it's easy to pack and takes a bit of weight away, I suppose. Next up, I've got a little bag there, and in that bag I've got 4 cut down temp pegs and a lighter. Okay, and the temp pegs is to pin the cooker down on soft surfaces, you know, or on a hill as well. Actually, I'll show that later. And also a little scouring pad, because I'm a bit fancy like that. All right, so there you go. So that's the little bits I put in the pouch as well. And there it all is. There's the cook set all together, nestled together, and it'll go in this pouch quite nicely. And that flat edge will go against this edge, this edge here. Okay, so I'll get that in now, and you can see what it sort of looks like when it's inside. So this is how I put it in the pouch. Just grab hold of it like this. It doesn't matter how you do it really, and just drop it in like that as best you can. I mean, I've got a bit of water in there, so it drops in quite nicely. Then I've got the cover there, the lid. I'll just drop that down in there, right down near the bottom. Oh, knocking the camera. There you go. You can see that. It's right next to the pot, if you like. Okay. Then I suppose I could get this cup in. Ooh, knocking the camera again, like that. And I'll get this spork in. Just put it down the edge there. It will go. Honest, there you go. It's in. Get this little bag in with the temp pegs and just shove that down there. And I'll shove that in there. Should have put that with the lid as well. There's plenty of room. There you go. It's gone in right down the bottom there. And then I'll just, that little bit room there, just in the center, you can just slot that in there. Goes in all right, no problem. Easy. And then it sort of looks like that. And I'll do this up, show that it does up perfectly all right. There you go. Like, just like that. And there's a little bit of material there, just in case, you know, you're thinking it's too tight, you know, I could slacken that off if I wanted to. And the weight of that, right, this is not including my bits, but it is including the lid, okay? And it's 2 pounds 8.7 ounces. All right, so I'll repeat that again. The weight of this, all including the pouch, is not including my little bits that's in, but it is including the lid. All right, the weight of that is 2 pound 8.7 ounces. All right, and the cooker on its own, just a little bit on the bottom, that little cooker, just in case you run out of fuel and it starts to become dead weight and you've got to use a fire. That dead weight, or the cooker if you like, cooker only, is 6.2 ounces. All right, so 6.2 ounces. So there you go. There's a bit of detail, and that's what it looks like. Right, this is how I bypass the fact that this sort of goes over just a bit. It just catches it there. It doesn't go fully down. So what I do, you know, if I put that on there, it'll snuff the flame out. Okay, so that doesn't work. It's not high enough. So what I do to get over that is I put a grid on like that. That's all I do. You could pin that down as well, you know. It's quite flat there, so it's not a problem. And put your pot on the top, and there you go. Light it first, and then put your pot on, and happy days. And actually, in that way, it will boil water, whether there's no wind, but also up here in the mountains where it's normally really windy. It'll work in the wind as well, like that, because the flame is so close to the bottom. See if I can show you the distance. It's quite short, but it's not awful. It's about 10 millimeters, maybe a bit more, something like that. I don't know whether you can see that, but it's a good distance. It's not awful, but it's not ridiculous either, you know. It's just right. So that's how I get over using a Trangia spirit burner. And as you can see there, I have actually pinned it down as well. I didn't need to, but that is pretty solid. That ain't going nowhere. So and also you could use the spirit as spirit level. So so there you go. Now, bearing in mind, this Trangia spirit burner will not fit in there with all the gear, okay? So you need to put it somewhere. So and put it somewhere safe as well. So why not, if you fancy, it's up to you obviously, is incorporate another pot, all right? And you could store the Trangia spirit burner and a bit more fuel there inside that pot. I'm just throwing ideas at you at the moment. That's what I do, you know. Things change over the years, but this is what I'm doing now. And so you can incorporate another pot. This is, you know, steel or titanium. I mean, this is titanium and doesn't weigh anything, so it's not a problem. And what you could do with the pegs is put the pegs in place like that, that's draped over the top, and then you could put the pot on top of that and it'll work fine, okay? And also, if it's on a little bit of a slope, you could also pull the pegs out slightly on the one side, okay? Just bring them up a bit. So if it's on a slope, a little bit of a slope, you could sort of put the pegs, 2 pegs higher than these two, and then put it on, and then make sure it's all flat. So it can be done, but not very steep, because this is going to be tilted over like that. But you know, just for your comfort, make it good, gives that option. So that's that. So yeah, you've got to store this somewhere, so why not in another pot, a nice light titanium pot, or steel if you fancy. Now what I've done now is pin it out on quite a steep slope. So there it is. There's all the stuff there. There's a bit of a gap under there, look. It's fairly steep. Could be about 45 degrees actually. Maybe 40 degrees, something like that. But anyway, what I've done is I've used the 2 holes on the edge to pin this down, and I put the Trangia spirit burner in, and it's all nice and level. And then what I've done is I've put 2 pegs there to sort of stabilize it even more. And now I'm going to light that and get this on and make a cup of tea. All right, so and just to prove that it works as well, it's quite solid. It's not going to go anywhere. You know, if the ground is awkward, if you're a bit of a tactical nut or something, you like hiding away or something, you could use one of these on a slope in a bit of a gorge or a little sort of dip like this. There you go. So I don't know if you can see that. But yeah. So let's get it going. And I'll just show that it works, and this is like obsolete then for the time being. And also put the flat bit outwards, because that's going to go on like that. There you go. So there you go, it's lit, and it's not bloomed yet, but the breeze has come up a little bit. There you are. So I'll just get this cup on. get it on there like that. And get this lid on like that. There we go. And we'll see how that goes. You can hear the wind and blowing the flame, can't you? Well, I think you can anyway. And there you go, all steam coming out the top. Now that's taken 10 minutes, okay, so that's all right. Just take that off. Yeah, look at that, rolling boil. So that's brilliant, that is. So I'll just get that off. We can, yeah, not a problem. Get that over there so it don't fall. God. Oh, I'll leave that on. Oh, flipping heck. I'll stick it on the top. There we go. Get that. Yeah, it's still going there. Get that on there. And then I just put that over if you didn't catch that, and I'll put that out. So there you go, I'll let that cool down now, put a tea bag and a bit of sugar in that, and then have my cup of tea. So there you go, that's how you do it on a slope. That's how you can use it on a slope. Oh, I need two hands to undo this now. Right, what is the Crusader Mark 1 good for? And what can you use it for? Well, it's good for boiling the bags, and it's also good for, it's alright for wet food as well, as long as you stir it regular, you know. Especially if you've got a little titanium pot to go with it. I mean, that's just perfect, isn't it? So what's so special about it? I said it was special. Well, I tell you what's special about it is I've had that cooker for 20 years and it keeps on going and going and going. Oh, around about 20 years. Just bearing in mind it's 2024. And if all else failed in life, whether I had to leave the house and never come back, or leave it for a certain amount of time, whatever, you know, because I don't know, some people in the world have to do that, you know. I'm speaking to you now, you know, not me, and I hope that I don't have to do that. Hope to God I don't have to do something like that. Then of all the cookers I've used and reviewed, they're all fine, they're really good, but the one cooker I would take if I had to bug out and never come back again is the Crusader Mark 1, okay? Because I've had it so long. It's simple, it's robust to the extent where it's a World War II type robustness, okay? So so there you go. That's what I think, that's why I think it's so special. Yes, it's got a bit of weight to it because it's steel, but it's only a small lump of steel, okay? So it's not heavy, it's not excessively heavy, it's just small instead. Okay, so yeah, so that's why I think it's special, you know. It's really good. If I had to disappear and never come back, I would use the Crusader Mark 1, all right, out of all of them. So anyway, there you go, that's all I got to say. And as per usual, like, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching this far. Cheers. Oh, nearly fell over.